Hey guys, Mick here. Thanks for checking out the video. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how to teach kids how to ride mountain bikes. So we've been getting a bit of requests from parents and stuff as to what's the progression, how we teach them. Now our background through the DM company, we've been doing junior development for a long time now, sort of through DM about 9 years and a number of years before that. So we've got a fairly good program sorted out now and some solid curriculum and producing some really good results. So what we thought we'd do is just give you guys a little bit of feedback as to how to approach it. So it's a theoretical video, no demos in here, but I will refer back to some of our other training material so that you can go and look at the things of how to actually teach those, because it's pretty much the same as what we do for adults. It's just keeping it fun. That's one of the key things. Anything you want to do with kids, you've got to keep it fun. Unfortunately, kids come with their own minds and they will like or not like the activities that they want to do. And you can't always go, wow, I'm really into mountain biking. I want my kids to be into mountain biking. I'm going to get them mountain biking. They may just jack up and decide they just don't want to do it. So yeah, one of the most common mistakes we see is parents trying to get their kids into mountain biking because they love mountain biking and they want the kids to love mountain biking. Now, you may be fighting an uphill battle. It may be just that the kids just don't want to do it. And that's always hard. The best thing you can do is find ways to make it a positive, fun experience for them and start to gradually get them hooked on it. They don't have to be focused on going out and being great mountain bikers by any particular age. You know, kids will pick it up at different levels. They'll have different levels of interest. We've got kids in our programs that parents struggled to get them interested and they made them come on the program, but because they've related to some of our instructors really well, they've gotten massively involved in it. So yeah, you just got to find the right time and the right way for them to be introduced. From a skills point of view, the absolute key to teaching for us is to start with the basic stuff, and the number one thing is brake control. It's not just about stopping, it's also about controlling your speed. And that is actually probably more important than being able to stop. Australia in summer, lots of flies here at the moment. So brakes on kids' bikes are always a bit of a questionable thing. So you want them to have good brakes that work well, that are nice and smooth, that they can reach comfortably with small hands and that aren't too hard to pull in. Okay, a lot of brakes that are cable based, they get a little bit of crap on the cables, the brakes become stiff, and it might feel okay for a parent to use, but a kid with a smaller, not so strong hand will really struggle. So you need to have something that's adjusted so they can reach it comfortably and they work well enough that they can use them. We've currently banned back pedal brakes on all of our programs. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is it's very hard for them to get their foot position because you can't back pedal. They have to go all the way around to end up where they want to be. The other one is they tend to be very on-off. So the kids are either rolling fast or the back wheel's locked and skidding. And the main problem is that kids will tend to, when they panic a bit or get scared, they'll take their feet off the pedals. And if that's their brakes, then they speed up and crash into trees and stuff. So we've had a few, no one hurt too badly, but we've had a few minor accidents and it's been quite hard for the instructors to work with. So we've just gone with a blanket no back pedal brakes rule. If the kids aren't big enough and don't have enough hand control to work a hand brake, then they're probably not really ready to be going mountain biking. So brake drills. Starting out with the stuff that's up on our YouTube. We've got some good instruction video there on basic drills. So riding up to a line, stopping using your back brake without skidding. Ride up to the line, skid, then stop without skidding. Ride up to the line, use both brakes. Right? There's plenty of explanation in the other video. That's the same stuff you want to be doing with kids. The trick is you might need to make it a little bit more fun. So you might have some competition of I want to see how fast you can stop, or I want to see how long a skid you can do, or any of that sort of stuff, just to keep them a little bit more engaged. But you really want to spend the time and make sure they've got good brake control. Even if they can't stand up on the pedals and they're sitting down, you need them to be able to control their speed. The next step for us, once we've done those drills, that we actually do quite a bit, that isn't covered in any of our other videos, is make a bit of a slalom course with rocks or witches' hats or something down a hill on a piece of open flat fire road. The idea is you want them to be able to control their speed and weave through the cones. Now what that'll do is that just gives them that little bit more brake control, and rather than just being stopping, it's about controlling their speed while they're turning, not locking up wheels. So the thing we're really trying to achieve through all this exercise is good brake modulation. And that means when you start taking them on trails where there's a bit of descent, they can control their speed. They're not just like rolling out of control or wheels locked and skidding. Once you can get that, you can start to safely take them onto other trails. So that's the number one thing we always do with the kids. When we get them, when they're new on our program, we do drills with them. If we don't know the kids, we do drills with them, and we make sure that we're comfortable that they can stop and that they can basically control their speed before we take them anywhere else. Cool. So you've got them to that stage where they can use their brakes. The next thing is trying to find fun rides for them. Now, I'm a big fan of shuttling with kids. We've had a number of people comment that we sort of spoil kids because we do shuttle, and look, it is easy for us to shuttle because we own a shuttle business, so we've got a bus and so forth. The big advantage is coming back to making it fun for the kids. So most kids' bikes are relatively heavy and kids are pretty small. So it's kind of like me riding up the hill on a 40-kilo mountain bike. And I really wouldn't enjoy that, and I would probably never ride again if I had to do that. Now, where we are in Canberra at Stromlo, we've got a really nice long green descent from the top of the hill that is pretty accessible. Once the kids control their speed and they've got control of their brakes, they can ride the descent. If we get them up to the top and let them ride down the hill, then some of the smaller ones, it could take them an hour to come down the hill. But in that hour, they're having a good time, they're learning brake control, they're learning how to control the bike, and it's not overly physically strenuous. If you try and make them ride up the hill, then they're going to get tired, cranky, and they may not like the sport as much. So if you can get them doing descents and improving their skills and having fun with it, that's a great way to get started. Once you've started doing that and they're starting to enjoy it, they're probably more inclined to do longer rides and more climbing and stuff like that. But if you start making it really physical and quite hard and strenuous early in the piece, and tell them they need to just get used to it and they need to toughen up a bit, then you're probably going to find they're going to not enjoy it so much, and it's going to be harder to keep them committed. So if you can get some nice long runs where they can get some descent time and they can work on their braking and the other skills, that's really awesome. At Stromlo, we've also got a lot of fairly flat trails towards the bottom, so we've got a lot of stuff we can do in those areas, but the kids just absolutely love coming nice long trip down the hill. And it might take them an hour to come down, but it's a great way to do it. Once you've got the braking dialed, the next skill that you want to be working on is basically your pedal position. So get them riding feet level. Most kids will tend to ride with a foot down when you're sitting down. In fact, most people that are beginners, when they're sitting on the bike, they'll ride with 1 foot down. So what we want them to do is we want them to be riding with their feet level. Once they've got their feet level, they can start to stand up on the pedals. Okay? And what you're doing is getting them going over some bumps, standing up on the pedals, start to pedal, standing up on the pedals. Get them not reliant on the seat and getting standing up. Okay? That's the next level of skill. Once they do that, they can start to open up more terrain. They can go through more bumps, they can go up and down humps and over rocks and all of that sort of thing. Starts to become a whole lot more fun for them. And that's when you'll start to be able to take them out onto more trails and do a little bit more stuff. From there, you're basically looking at body position and all the rest of the stuff that's in our videos. There's the whole series there that progresses from beginner through to jumping and whatever. And that's pretty much what we teach. The trick is having it fun for them to do. Now, one of the things that we find really helps is as the kids get a little bit bigger, you'll find it's really hard to teach them yourselves. So, you know, kids are great with parents when they're really little. They start to get to the stage where parents don't know everything anymore, and it's generally works a lot better if you can get someone else to take over that role a little bit. That's why you might have a friend or something where you can swap kids and work with each other's kids, or look for a program that the kids can go into. For us, one of the really important things about having a development program is that the kids get to meet other kids, ride with other kids, you get that social interaction, which is really great, and we actually tend to use quite young instructors. So we've got a development program where the instructors can go through. Once they're 15, they can come and volunteer and help out. At 16, they can actually do certification, and we'll take them on as a trainee. And at 17, they can start having their own groups. Now, the good thing about this is we end up with a whole pile of really great instructors, but it means the instructors have come through our program. So they've been right through from the beginning. They know what it's like to learn. They know what's fun and what's not fun. They've done our school holiday programs and camps as a participant. And usually by the time they're instructing, they're really good riders. We try and get them to be really good role models. But what it means is the kids have got someone they can look up to, right? So kids don't relate, once they get to be 12, 13, they don't relate to 30-year-olds. Even if they were an ex-world champion, that's not necessarily who they want to be. And they can't see that progression. Whereas if they're riding with 17, 18-year-olds that are the cool kids, that are the good riders, and that are good role models for them, that's attainable. And they see themselves in that position as being an instructor in a few years' time. Now that opens up a whole pile of pathways for them and helps get them into the sport, develop friendships, and stay with it longer. So if you've got something like that in your area, it's a really great way to get the kids in and involved and hand off some of the teaching to somebody that they're going to listen to more, and then you can have more fun when you're riding with them yourself as a family, and then they can have their own time and you can have your own time. So guys, hopefully this progression's been useful and it gives you a way to get started. At the end of the day, the progression is the same with kids for pretty much anyone else. Start with getting them braking, getting the basic control, getting them standing up on pedals, and go out and have a lot of fun with them. We'll do a couple of other videos. I want to do one on why I don't think racing is a great idea for junior development. Not that I'm specifically against it, but yeah, you'll see some more information about that in the next one. And I'm also going to do a how to pick an appropriate kid's bike. So that will hopefully be useful about looking at some of the pros and cons of different sorts of things that you could be looking for in kids' bikes. So yeah, thanks heaps for watching, guys. Hopefully see you out on the trail soon, and hopefully you can get some more of your kids out there riding and having a good time. So catch you soon.